Hi everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so this is continuing on with the books that helped me through my mental health journey. I'll link the playlist below as always in case you missed the other parts in this series. Let's talk about this book this time. This is called Uninvited, and it's literally just one story from this book that really changed something in my life. And I love that. Books can change lives. It's amazing. Books can give you a whole new perspective, a whole new attitude, and new behaviors. Anyway, so I've shared this story before, I think, but let's just share it with this book. She was in the author, she was in an airport and something happened. I'm not going to get the details right. It was a while ago since I read this, but I think something happened with her luggage and she said out loud to herself, "Oh, you're such an idiot," or something like that. And this guy, this stranger, heard her, turned around and said to her, "How dare you say that to yourself? You're not an idiot," or something like that. And it was just as if God was speaking through that man, through this book, directly to me, and it changed everything. And because, I always knew, it's not ideal to talk negatively about yourself. I always knew that, but it didn't change anything, like, and I always used to tear myself to shreds with, you're the worst person alive, you're horrible, you're unlovable, you got no worth. Why do you even do anything? You're the worst. So when, and I would have those every now and then throughout my life, but when I had depression and anxiety, it was like 24/7 just attacking myself. Sorry. And you can't live like that. Imagine if you had a parent or a friend or a stranger following you around all day and just yelling at you, "You're the worst person alive, you're horrible, you're worthless, you're no good, you're not good enough." And you're going to feel horrible. And that's how I felt because I was telling it to myself. And this is what I say about we're in a relationship with ourselves, because just as we can tell people things, we can tell ourselves things. So it's just as important for ourselves to make sure we're speaking well of ourselves, because it can crush spirits. If you call someone an idiot or just tear someone else to shreds with your words, it can crush their spirit, and you never know how long that will stick with them for the rest of their lives. And yet we do it to ourselves so often. "Oh, you're horrible, you're the worst, you're so selfish," like over and over, I would just tell myself that. And so at the worst, at my lowest point, it was just like 1,000 times a day, I was just telling myself these thoughts. And yeah, you just can't live like that. You just can't function if that's all you're hearing. And even though I knew that, yeah, it's hard to change your thoughts, right? It's really, really hard. And so, but it just got to a point where I was like, I can't live like this anymore. And my well-being, my sanity, is I just can't do it anymore. So for my well-being and sanity, I just had to put in that effort, really put in that energy to changing my thoughts. And one thing that made it so much easier, because before this, the way I did it was just to pull myself up and go, is this thought true? Is it important? Like I shared in the previous video, is it helpful to think this? And then I'll work my way through those questions and realize no, 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 no. And then be able to change my thoughts like that. And I could replace them with, "Hang on, I'm not the worst person alive. Hang on, God loves me. I'm lovable. Hang on, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm not," all that kind of stuff. But that took a lot of effort, it really took a lot of effort to do that. Whereas this story, it made it so much easier for me. So now, I remember the first time it happened, I was driving home from who knows where, but it was night and I was almost home, and I just had the thought while I was driving, "Oh, you're so horrible, you're such an idiot, you're a freak, and then all of a sudden this other voice came into my head, not like a literal voice, but just, had this other thought come in and just said, "How dare you speak to yourself that way?" And I was like, oh, hang on. Hmm. Yes. How dare I? And because it called back to this book and I remembered the story and I was just like, "Oh yeah." And it just made it so much easier rather than me having to plot away and work through, is this true? And what's more helpful to think and replacing thoughts. I was just like, no, wait a second. Yeah, how dare I think that about myself? Because God never thinks that way about us. And I know it's so simple. I don't know why this book gave me such a light bulb moment that changed everything. It just, in an instant, it changed everything. Because, like I said, my head already knew all this stuff. It just took this one story for it to sink in. Like, God never tears us to shreds. Never. Even when we do the worst of the worst thing, he still never tears us to shreds. He still never says, "You're a horrible, worst person alive." He still doesn't do that. And I would never do it to a friend. I would never even do it to a stranger. Like, even if they did the worst thing alive, I still wouldn't go, "Well, there goes that idea. You're a bad person. No use living now." I would go, "No, hang on. Keep going. Keep trying. Yes, you stuffed up and that's horrible and you're going to have to deal with consequences. That sucks. But you're still a person who's worth so much," And I would build them up because I could just imagine a friend coming to me, just maybe they've made a mistake and they're just tearing themselves to shreds. They're like, "Oh no, I can't do anything now. I'm the worst. Why do I even try anything?" And I can just imagine myself going to them, "No, no, you're awesome. I still love you. You're still my friend. I'm still going to be here for you. You still go after whatever it is you need to go after. Like, you still keep trying. Yes, you made a mistake, and yes, maybe someone was hurt, and you're hurt now, and there's consequences now, and whatever, but still keep going." And I'm like, why don't I do that with myself? As soon as I make a mistake, as soon as I fail, I'm all, "Oh gosh, you're horrible. You're such an idiot." And it's like, well, no, God doesn't do that to me. I don't do that to other people. My friends don't do that to me. And then it just changed how I saw it. I was just like, how dare I do that? How dare I say that to myself? How dare I treat myself that way? I am a child of God. I'm made in his image, just as all people are made in his image. And just as all people should never be called worthless or an idiot. And just as all people should never call themselves worthless or an idiot. Now I could finally apply that to myself. And that story is what did it for me. So I always think of this idea now, be my own cheerleader. I will always cheer on other people. I'll never, tear them down and say, "Well, you're hopeless now. Give up." I'll be like, "No, no, no. Keep going, keep going. You're awesome. You're amazing." Your worth doesn't depend on your mistakes or what you do or your past or what people have said about you, or what you say about yourself. Keep going. And I just realized I can do that to myself. We're in a relationship with ourselves. I can be my own cheerleader. No one else is going to do it necessarily. And that's the thing. I can't rely on other people always, cheering me on. Yes, they can do that. And yes, friends can do that, of course. But I am also in relationship with myself. I keep saying that because it's so important. And therefore, it's up to me. I have a responsibility to treat myself well, to cheer myself on. I know it sounds so corny and ridiculous, but if you don't, for me, if I don't want to go back to depression and anxiety, I hold on to this concept with everything I've got. I'm going to be treating myself well and cheering myself on. So I'm going to be my own cheerleader. Really important, really, really important, because every now and then, yeah, those thoughts will keep coming back. They'll pop up. "Oh, such an idiot. Oh, can't believe you did that. You're just, you're horrible, you're selfish, you're the worst." But now, whereas in the past I would have spiraled down and just kept on thinking that for months, now I just go, "Oh, all right, I think that thought, all right, well, now let's stop it." And I can just go, "Nope, be your own cheerleader." And that's why I say it's much easier now with that story. It's so much easier to pull myself up on it and go, "All right, yep, moving on." And to not beat myself up about the thought in itself. Like, we can't control what thoughts just pop up into our head. And so if it comes, let it come and then let it go. It's not about getting rid of the thoughts forever. Like, in terms of like, I realistically know that I'm always going to every now and then have the thought that I'm a horrible person. And that's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to try and get rid of that thought forever, for all time. What I'm just working on is, as soon as it comes up, I can recognize it and let it go and know that it has no bearing, it has no truth, and it's not going to affect my day, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's not about like, getting rid of every thought and feeling. Feelings come and go. They're fine. It's what we do with them. It's, do we believe them? Do we give them our attention? Do we think they're important? And are they helpful? And then, yeah, just keeping the ones that are helpful and letting go of the ones that aren't. And building your toolkit. I talk a lot about building your toolkit of tools that will help you combat these issues that will cause well, depression and anxiety. So yeah. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. That's the story from that book, and I will come back and share more books later on. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later. Bye.